Hi, Tom here. In this week's Circle Line Art School video, I'll show you one way to draw a view of a city from an alleyway. First, draw a horizontal line towards the top of your drawing, and then in the middle of this horizontal line, we can draw a little dot for a vanishing point, and then directly below it at the bottom of your drawing, we can draw a second vanishing point. So there's one vanishing point above the other. Next, slightly nearer the top vanishing point, we can draw a horizontal line. And now, using the direction from the bottom vanishing point, we can draw a line that continues up from the bottom vanishing point to the top of the drawing. And then we can draw another line, which is from the direction of the vanishing point, but this time it goes to the top of the page on the right. Next, we can draw a city at a distance in this shape that we've just created. For this city, the receding lines that are receding downwards will go to the vanishing point at the bottom of the drawing, and the receding lines that are going away from us will go to the horizon towards the top of the drawing. And then all the horizontal lines in the drawing will stay horizontal and stay parallel to the horizontal line towards the top of the page. So in perspective drawing, once you've worked out what works for the drawing that you're doing, it's just a matter of repeating. So all of the receding lines going downwards. So for this image, we're looking down upon all of these buildings because the horizon line is our eye line. It's the height of our eye. And if we're looking straight ahead, we'd be looking at the vanishing point on the horizon line. But we're also looking downwards, and therefore we can see the buildings as they recede away from us down to the base of the vanishing point at the bottom of our drawing. Because I'm using a pen for this drawing, I'm having to think about the lines quite carefully so that I'm drawing the lines which are in front of things first and then putting the lines behind afterwards, because I can't erase the pen lines. So that just means I have to think a little bit more. But if you're using a pencil, you can just sort of launch ahead a little bit quicker than what I'm doing. Once you have used two vanishing points and the horizontal lines to draw the buildings, then we can go to the next step. Then, using the vanishing point on the horizon, we can draw two new lines coming towards us, but receding to the vanishing point on the horizon. And this will be a platform, which will make sense in a minute. But first we need to put a horizontal line between these two receding lines to the vanishing point on the horizon, and then join them up with a horizontal line. So this is the top of a platform, like a little bit of a roof that's going to be above the stairs. It's receding away to the vanishing point on the horizon, but when we look down at it, at its thickness is receding to the vanishing point at the base of our drawing. So we need two little lines to show the thickness, receding lines to the base of the drawing, and then we can draw another horizontal line, and now we have the roof structure that will be in between the alleyway. So we can extend this line, which is part of the edge of the alleyway, so it goes below the roof structure that we've just put in place. We can do this on the left and the right. If these two lines joined up, they'd go all the way to the vanishing point at the base of the drawing. We don't want that. They need to stop before that with a horizontal line, and that will be the edge of the steps. Then we can draw another horizontal line just above. And then using our vanishing point on the horizon, we can draw a series of lines which are receding away from us, the viewer, going towards this point on the horizon. And this will represent a sort of platform that people could walk on. Next, we can use the vanishing point on the horizon to draw two short lines for the first step, and then finish it off with a horizontal line which is slightly wider, and then we can use the vanishing point on the horizon again to draw the two sides of the second step, and again finishing this off with a horizontal line which is wider, because the steps, as they're getting closer towards us, are getting bigger, which is sort of the reverse of what's obvious, which is as things go away from us, they're getting smaller. So for each of the steps, we need a horizontal line which is longer than the step before, and each of the sides of the steps, we're using the vanishing point on the horizon, because they're going away from us and they're all parallel to each other. So once you've got the steps in place, you can see how the drawing works hopefully a little bit more. So we have steps that we're walking down to, and then there's a platform below, and as we're walking down to the steps, we're walking underneath a roof structure. For the platform below, we could draw some railings. To do that, we could draw two horizontal lines close together for like the bar of the railings, and then I think we can draw the upright of the railings will be lines which go to the bottom vanishing point of the drawing, because they're receding away from us as we're looking down the alleyway. Next, it's probably time to think about the thickness of the lines, so I'll make these lines a little bit thicker on the platform at the bottom of the steps, and then I think I'll also make the railings darker. Next, we can use the vanishing point on the horizon to draw two lines coming towards us from the top of the roof. I just think that will help extend the sense of the directions in which we're looking, and it will give us structure to the alleyway. We could also repeat these lines going up on the right hand side and the left hand side of the alleyway. So each of these lines, you could use a ruler or just do them freehand. Each of these lines is going towards the vanishing point on the horizon. Now, because I'm using a pen, I can't erase the horizon line. So I'm making the horizon line be the horizon, but also when the horizon line is on the alleyway, it then becomes part of the structure of the alleyway. So it changes its use. With drawing straight lines, it's just a matter of practice and thinking about where the line is going towards, rather than looking at the point of the pen or pencil that you're using. Look at where the line is going to end up. So I tried to visualize it first, and that way it helps me draw a straight line. But rulers are fine for something like this. Next, I think for the steps and the alleyway either side of the steps, we can use the bottom vanishing point. We can use the lower vanishing point and create a series of lines, straight lines, from the corner left of each of the steps on the left, using the vanishing point at the bottom of the drawing, coming up towards us, the viewer. Then we can repeat that on the right hand side as well, as I think that helps create the illusion that the steps are going downwards. So we're looking down upon the steps and we're looking across the city to the horizon. So we're looking in two different directions. Once you've got lines where you want, I think what I'm going to do is make the lines thicker, and then that's the line drawing that I wanted to create. But now I think we could add some tonal values, some shading. So for this I'm just using a 4B pencil, and I'll put some shading on this sort of roof structure first, and then a darker shadow below it. And we can just change the pressure on the point of the pencil to create a different tonal range. And now I've done that on the left, I'll repeat that on the right. And then for the rest of the drawing, I'm just going to add some tonal values to this drawing to make the alleyway dark, and then give some indication to the shading on the buildings as well. So I'll start the alleyway drawing between these two lines, and just a graded tone from dark to light, see if that works. And then just repeat what works and develop it over time. If you'd like to learn more about how to draw from scratch, please consider joining one of my online drawing courses for beginners. There are more details at circlelineartschool.com. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.